Okay, it's June 21st, 1:04 p.m. and the sun is overhead. And like we do every year, because we're such geeks when it comes to this movement of the sun, the path of the sun, we're just gonna do a little visual illustration, and then later today we're gonna do a time lapse so we can see what we're saying is actually happening. Okay, so there is Polaris, the fixed pole star. All right, so that's north. Now, when you understand the movement of the sun on the flat Earth map, the geocentric model, you understand the seasons. You understand why the sun is where it is and why the days are shorter or longer or hotter or colder. So to me, it's visually just a path, a racetrack, if you will, and the inside track is called the Tropic of Cancer, and I'll just picture that being the very center, okay, of our plane. And so we have these tracks on the inside track, and then we have a middle track, which is the Equator, and then we have an outside track, which is the Tropic of Capricorn. Those are our seasons, okay? So now, being June 21st, here in the northern hemisphere, Northern California, around 1 o'clock, we see the sun pretty much directly overhead. Not directly overhead, because if you look at a flat Earth map, when it is on the Tropic of Cancer, on the very inside track, it's not directly overhead Northern California. It's a little bit to the south and west, okay? And so that's why when I look directly up, it's a little bit to the south and west. But the way to visualize it is just that, is find the pole star and then realize that when the sun rises, it's rising over there these days because it is on that inside track. So it's just out of our perspective, comes into our perspective, goes up here, middle of the day, it's there. And as the day goes on, what we're gonna see in this time lapse I'm gonna do is it curves around that track. And it's actually just moving away. But the reason why the days are so long is because it's curving around on the inside track and then eventually disappears over there. So there it is. You know, and that's why they call the inside position in a racetrack the pole position. And again, if we were on the spring equinox or the fall equinox, it's gonna be right in the middle. Okay, so it's going to be, not on the inside track, not on the outside track. When the days are really short, it's right in the middle. Now, when we were in Mexico and we were down there around the time of the spring equinox, if you look at the flat Earth map, I did a video on this, the path of the sun, when you're down in Mexico near Puerto Vallarta, it goes right overhead, literally right overhead during that time of year. And that's why it was so hot and so humid. And it feels like the sun's just right on top of you, because it literally is. But then when you go back to Northern California up here, we're further away from the path of the sun. And so that's why we have less humidity and a little bit lower temperatures. Okay, so shortest days of the year, Tropic of Capricorn, the sun is literally coming into our perspective out here on the outside track. We have super short days because that's its path, and then it disappears quickly because it's not curving around on the inside track. It's just making a longer pathway out there. So when I do this time lapse later today, you'll be able to see visually how it's just curving around on the pole position inside track, Tropic of Cancer.
you.